Workers at St. George's University were held up this morning as checks were being made for vaccination ID. Those who did not have the ID were not allowed to enter the compound. According to leader of the union representing the workers, Andrew Lewis, top officials at the university give staff until the 14th of June to be vaccinated, and if by then they are not, then they will not be allowed to come on the compound. This, he says, also applies to anyone visiting the school. Lewis says the Technical and Allied Workers Union maintains its position that vaccination should and must not be a term of employment for those who are already employed with any establishment.
Well, basically, as of today, the school had said, and I've started the process of not allowing anyone, including staff, to enter the compound without the vaccine. We have always maintained that vaccine ought not to be a condition of employment, especially for those who are already employed. I mean, imagine you have workers who have been working here for 20-something years, and then this morning they have been prevented from going in because they are not vaccinated. This is a unilateral change to the contract of employment, and we are opposed to this. We think it is wrong, and we will take up the matter as we have done in the past.
Lewis says the union has engaged the school in the last few months. However, they are yet to come to an amicable solution on the matter. A final number as to how many workers will be affected by the organization's decision remains unknown, but according to Lewis, the negotiation process is in full effect. The Minister for Health, Nicholas Steele, also spoke about the incident outside of the SGU campus early this morning.
The right to life, the right to a healthy environment should be first and foremost, so that a healthy worker, a worker who's alive, can be fought for with respect to salary, working conditions, right to choose on anything else also. Comes afterwards, I think. If you're in hospital struggling to breathe, or if you have died, it's difficult for your union to represent you with your rights there.
A representative from the National Democratic Congress, Terence Forrester, believes that mandatory vaccination is wrong and no one should be forced to take any vaccine. It is against human rights.
Well, it is most unfortunate that some workers out at SGU whom had not been vaccinated are not allowed to return to work. This calls for an intervention by this government to protect the workers of this country. As far as we know, no legislation has been passed in Grenada mandating workers and the people of Grenada to take the vaccine.
In a release from the St. George's University today, the organization indicated that they have begun the next phase in their plan to welcome back staff and faculty to campus. Their primary commitment is to provide a safe environment for all in the university community as part of the university's long-term planning for safely returning for the August 2021 term. COVID-19 vaccination is now required for all students, faculty, staff, administrators, vendors, and visitors entering the campus.
Deplorable situation that St. George's University has placed itself in. Grenada has been a hospitable place, a hospitable home for St. George's University for almost 40 years. So it is quite shocking that the university believes itself to be on some other island.
That was Attorney Jerry Edwins.
University. The people who are the leaders of this private university cannot make rules for Grenadians in Grenada. If you do not want Grenadians on your campus, put your campus somewhere else outside Grenada. The fact is that St. George's University is a part of our society. This university contributes almost a quarter of our GDP.
According to Edwin, Grenadians, including the union, have the full cooperation of SGU. However, the leaders of the university, he says, cannot make guidelines for Grenadians.
But SGU should not get it twisted. We are not beholding to this university. This university is beholding to us. We have provided a hospitable environment for its students. It is a world-class offshore medical school. They cannot make rules as though they are the police of Grenada.
Edwin is calling on the Minister of Health and the entire government to step in and take charge of this issue.
I do believe that one has to be careful in moving forward, especially emergency use of the vaccine, and not mandate it for people, because yes, you can mandate a vaccine, and vaccine has been mandated before. I mean, especially when you have to interact with people and when you have to go to school and so forth. But it is not mandatory for emergency use. Until we move past emergency use, I do not believe that it should be mandated for people.
Opposition leader Tobias Clement is pro-choice and believes that no one should be forced to take any vaccine. Clement says a vaccine is not new to anyone. However, it is important to educate yourself about what goes into your body. Therefore, those who are thinking about taking a vaccine should consult with a physician before doing so.
And people must have a choice. People must know. I tell people call me all the time to ask me about the vaccine. And what I would tell them, make sure that you consult with your physician at least. Make sure you know what you are allergic to or what you may not be allergic to. But ultimately, contact your physician, do a check, because us in Grenada, a lot of us have underlying effects that we do not know about. But if you get the all clear from your physician, then you have to take one for the world, one for your country. And so that is what I advocate, but not mandatory.
While the world is going in the direction of vaccination, the choice is still paramount. Therefore, the decision or the onus is on the individual who wishes to or not to take the vaccine. It should not be forced upon anyone by any organization.
It might stem on some medical ethics. If you are in the hospital and you're sick unto death, and the doctors have to give you a life-saving medication, they will have to ask your permission. If they have to give you a life-saving treatment, they will have to ask you. They cannot say you're getting this drug and this drug. I mean, if you do not want to take radiation, or you do not want to take chemo, or you do not want to take any cocktail, they cannot force it on you. Government cannot say you're mandated to take it. And so maybe I can put vaccine in the same light. Depends on what the outcome is. I mean, people will still have a right. I mean, if you mandate vaccine on somebody, what else can you mandate on people?
With